Right now we're walking out to the beach and we're gonna go home. I just took a quiz and hopefully do the valve cover gasket as well as like the little spark plug gaskets and stuff on the Z to help with the oil getting into the spark plug wells. There he is. Yeah, look, I got yellow on my shirt to match the whip. Yes. The nice thing is that today is a toasty 11 degrees Celsius instead of -7 degrees Celsius like it has been. I'll put that up in freedom units as well, just so we know how many AR-15s per cheeseburger 7 degrees Celsius is. I'm just gonna do the valve cover. Hopefully it's quick because I have another class at 1. Right now it's 11:10. So that gives me 2 hours to both drive home, do the job, and get back. Well, about an hour and a half with, travel. And I also need to eat at some point. Okay, so we have arrived at the Swagmobile. I gotta run inside and grab the gaskets as well as my iPad, which has all my homework on it, which I forgot to bring to my class. Look how dirty this thing is. Black cars are tough to keep looking clean, especially when they already come with water spots like the Z. So yeah, wrapping it is in the future plans. Right now, I'm just reorganizing the interior in here so that it can all fold up and I can get a little more space in the back. Check it out. I don't know if y'all have formerly met my boy, Yalmar. He lives in the Z. I'm realizing that this is technically the first time I've ever worked internally on the Z's engine. Here's the little engine cover. And I mean, it's hardly internally. It's the valve cover and the cylinder head, but still, this is kind of fun to, it's gonna be fun to see this. I bet it looks exactly like the Beats because it's the same platform, but time to just you gotta undo these 4 little wing nuts and then you can remove this cover. It doesn't look like there's too much that's gonna be blocking all this. Looks like I need to remove this little hose here. And of course the ignition coils. And then I think there's 4 bolts. I mean, this is hopefully straightforward. That's always how this begins is, oh, this looks pretty easy. And then it's like 8 hours later. But yeah, so I'm gonna remove these ignition coils and I'm gonna detach this hose. I don't know what that is. I don't know what kind of line that is. I think it's some kind of breather. I don't know. It connects to the turbo system down there. So it could be in relation to that. I don't really know how that all works. So I'm not going to say something that I don't believe is true. I'm about to say something that I did not think I would be saying for a long time. And that is, it's actually pretty warm. And I wish I unplugged the ignition coils before undoing the bolts. Because this is a 2-hand job. We're going to set that. Okay, now that the connectors are disconnected, you can remove your ignition coils. So let's just double check. Yeah, this one's dry and good. This is number 1, ignition coil number 1. This one is our problem child here. It doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look terribly wet, which is good. That's the one that's supposed to be covered in oil. Unless it's this one and I'm tripping. Yeah, no, this one looks good. Okay, weird. But yeah, we will continue with the next part, which I think should just be this hose, but I don't have any pliers, so I'm gonna have to go run and grab some from the garage. I've also changed it to a t-shirt because the hoodie was way too warm. Let me show you guys something fun. No worry flags from Japan for a Suzuki Wagon R dealership in like some pawn shop or something. I don't know, they were hilarious, and so I bought them. I have secured the pliers. Anyone who has worked on 25-year-old hose clamps knows exactly why I prefer pliers to my bare hands. Also, if you ask me, these hose clamps are supremely inferior to the ones that you use like a socket wrench on. I have some of those socket wrench ones on the coolant lines right there. And if you saw the video like a year ago when we got the beat running again, you'll remember me blowing up coolant all over my face. That was because I was using those old clamps, and so I went and bought those new ones that you can see right now. I'm just really hoping that this line is some kind of air hose or something for the turbo and not like a coolant line, because of, like I just said, I've blown up coolant all over myself before. But the Z has not driven like all day. So I mean, this shouldn't be like active or hot or anything. This is not smart, but it's safe enough for me. Okay, this clip is like 2 seconds later because this came off with absolutely zero fight. So that should be everything. I think I'm gonna remove the oil cap as well. Let's just poke around in here. So we need that bolt, and then that one right there, and that one right there. And the valve cover should come off. I'm just looking on the side. I don't think, let's see. You guys are gonna be my tool. I think it's good. Oh no, it looks like there's a little bracket over here connected to some sensor. Okay, let me remove that. It looks like that's pretty easy to access. So that was also very painless and easy. You can see there's all this stuff just kind of floating around in here. Ooh, this little bracket is just totally loose now. And this is the cute little bolt that came out. So yeah, if you're following this as a tutorial, you should have had this taken out, as well as these three, one for each ignition coil. And then it should look something like this with the hose disconnected, and then all of your spark plug wire connector things disconnected as well. And now we can get onto the actual valve cover. Also, I probably mentioned this when I was doing the spark plugs, but it's really weird to work on your car while like completely inside of your car. Like I'm just sitting with my legs crossed, just pretty much reaching up and doing all this stuff. Look, I'm even using my cup holders in the back to hold my LaCroix. Also, if you aren't running these, you are cheating yourself. These are delicious. So we've undone all the bolts. These ones don't come out, they just kind of pop up here, which is fine. And then these are the two lower ones with their weird little things. I can't tell if these are, I'm pretty sure they're metal of some sort. Okay, well, maybe the method is to grab it over here by like the timing belt cover and kind of pry it off. There isn't a lot of room to work with. Then again, I mean, this is a K car engine. All of this is very little. Here's my hand compared to it. It's a, you know, valve cover size. Yeah, this little homie is glued on. It looks like right below here, that might be a good access point to try and kind of start to peel it off. I feel amazing. I have pried it off. I just need to take it all the way off now. But I am worried because everything around here is so dusty because this poor car always gets taken into the dirtiest places thanks to me. So there will probably be an oil change, probably not very far into the future, maybe today even. This is a negotiation. There we go. Here is our very gross valve cover. And you know, we're gonna take it outside of the car because I don't want it to make a huge mess in my interior. But so here we go. Here's our dirty boy. Oh yeah. Weird. What on earth happened in here? So I'm peeling out. Here's our culprit. Here's the valve cover gasket. There's the bad one. And then the good one is it's hiding in that little package in between my seats. So let's look at the valve train. Oh man, it is sparkly. That is a lot better than what I was expecting. I don't really know what I was expecting, but so this guy here is also supposed to be the culprit. He's the one that's getting oil into the spark plug well, and the bad valve cover gasket out there, that's the one that was just leaking oil in general. And this hose was kind of annoying, so maybe I should remove it as well. Let's see, I don't know. I'm gonna tuck it in there for a moment though, and just look at this valve train. It's actually pretty good. I've done all my silly Instagram stories and stuff now, so it's time to actually do the work and swap out the gaskets. So I guess we could tear into this guy, and you can see we got 3 of these new guys for each of the spark plugs, even though, and it looks like 2 of the gaskets to replace these guys, and then 2 of these little ones that replace the ones that are on top of there. But those bolts don't come out, so I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but we're gonna try. Marty, look, I'm littering, gross. Put that back in there. Seating a new valve cover gasket is one of life's most like luxurious experiences. I love doing this. There we go, beautiful. So now we can lay this guy in here, but do it the right way, not the way that I am doing it. Okie dokie. Oh, I love doing this. This is so much fun. Also, this is my first time ever doing something like this by myself. I didn't consult any friends or nothing. I was just like, I think I can do this. One of my roommates told me that apparently you don't need to drain the oil to do valve cover stuff. So I was like, oh, say less. And so here I am. Yeah, so that's all in. Now let's do the other little gaskets, like the spark plug ones, as well as the ones that are inside the engine already. So we're just gonna peel these guys out, which should be pretty easy. These are the old spark plug gaskets. So they're gonna go in the trash pile with gross stinky down there. Number 2, bleh, goodbye. And number 3, bleh, goodbye also. Now you can see it's clear of all the gaskets, and we can put the new gaskets in the cylinder head. Pretty much, even though we're gonna be peeling a lot of the old gaskets off this stuff, all the new gaskets go in the cylinder head, and then when we put that on, it should create all the necessary seals in the cylinder, and on this cylinder head. I meant the valve cover when I said that earlier. Put all the gaskets on the valve cover, and then it creates all the necessary seals in the cylinder head. Also, I believe I just found another culprit for oil leaking. These are gross and disgusting, and these are the gaskets that sit on those 2 lower bolts, this one and that one. And I just took them out, and they are, oh, why am I shaking so much? And they are both super oily, super nasty. So I'm glad to get rid of these and get some new ones in here. So that's these guys. So we're not gonna do these until the very end when the whole apparatus is back on the cylinder head. And so we gotta put these guys under here, but these guys don't come out. So I'm not sure I'm gonna do that yet. But you can see these ones aren't great. Okay, so I am completely lost on these guys. So I found out they do come out. You just gotta pull on them harder and the whole apparatus comes out. How the hell are you supposed to remove these seals? Like am I missing something obvious, or? Because look, there's this ring, which is too big for it to go over on the bottom, and there's of course the bolt that's too big for it to go over on the top. So I think the best course of action is to just get like a replacement that's the same length, and then just put this over that, something without this. But is that seal necessary, or what on earth? So I don't think I'm gonna replace the seals on this, because I mean, physics is telling me no, unless I can like stretch the rubber part and get it over, like cut this one off, stretch that one and put it on, because it seems like the metal part might come off the bottom, but I have no clue. But now that we have all the spark plug gaskets in, as well as the new valve cover gasket, we can put the valve cover back into the engine. Also, there's the beat right there. He's been here this whole time, and you guys didn't even know. Well, you might have known, but yeah. So this is gonna get to go back in the engine. Actually, I'm gonna put the gloves on first, because this thing is oily. You know that you have a complicated and ridiculous 90s JDM car when a cylinder head gasket is easier than your spark plugs. I still have no explanation for why that one spark plug was in there with like 100 foot-pounds of torque. But all the old gasket is cleaned out, new gasket is in. Now we just gotta maneuver this homie down into place, which is easier said than done. Well, we got it in, and that was actually a lot easier than it was getting it out, I'm not gonna lie. I just had to find out the strategy, but cylinder head is back on, and now we can do the 2 new of these big guys. And like I said, these 2 upper ones, those long ones, I have no idea, but they're actually really easy to access, so I can just replace those down the line. Maybe I could run by like Ace Hardware and look for a replacement bolt or something when I go back to school. Cause yeah, I still have a class at 1 right now. It's about like 12:15ish, so I still got some time. I do have to say, as I'm putting things back together, huge thank you to Honda for making everything on this project that I just did a 10mm. All of the bolts for the valve cover, all the bolts for the ignition coils, and the bolt for the little bracket are all 10mm. So I've not had to swap out my socket once. And you know how damn nice that is when my socket set looks like this? Yeah, it is wonderful. Okay, so all the bolts are back in place. The 2 lower ones with their new seals as well, ready to be torqued down. I found some torque specs online saying 7 foot-pounds. And so that means I'm gonna go as tight as 7 foot-pounds feels to me, because I have no idea what that feels like, but I will do 7 foot-pounds for all of these. And then we'll put everything back together and we'll fire it up. This doesn't fix the mounting issue, obviously, and that will be a separate video. And you can see one of them is actually like right here. So yeah, this guy's gonna get swapped out. Look at these disgusting ancient bolts. Yeah, that's definitely not gonna be a pain in the ass. But yeah, so we will get those tightened down. So we got everything put together, sealed back up, top end looks good. have these. I don't think these came off of this car. I think that I just keep these in my little mobile tool bag that I keep in this car. So, difficulty on a scale of 1 to 10, that was like a 2. The hardest part was prying off the valve cover, which I just used a flathead screwdriver to do to get it started, and then I used this other Phillips screwdriver to push it the rest of the way open, and then to get it out wasn't that bad either. So I mean, and I did that in like 45 minutes because I'm stopping to record and take Instagram stories and stuff. So I could start cleaning up and getting some of this trash. Oh yeah, but the physical toll on your body, geez, that is tight. Feels like doing yoga. So yeah, I'm gonna just clean up my tools real quick. Actually, let's start the car and let's have a little cold start. Okay, now that the CD has been muted and I don't get in trouble with YouTube, let's have a look. Looks like an engine to me. Yeah, so that's good. I'm literally like squatting in here, but I can kind of stand up, which is nice without revealing my whole neighborhood. Yeah, engine sounds good, and I guess I could be a little more attentive of the oil level. This is the dipstick right here, this weird little guy. Yeah, I always lose it. So let's put the engine cover back on, and I'll put the seats back down, and we'll give it a little test. Maybe I'll drive it back to school. I just found out something crazy. Just listen to this. Just listen to the difference, okay? So this is with the engine cover on. And that's it with the engine cover off. Listen. It gets so much quieter. That's one of the biggest praises that I hear about the Z's is they are quiet. I mean, K cars are loud. And for example, the engine is right here. This is the rear seat. It is on top of the engine. And this car is quiet and comfortable. And so if you're looking for a K off-roader and you're deciding between like a Pajero Mini, a Honda Z, a Suzuki Jimny, and comfort is a big importance to you, that's something to take into consideration. If I don't know which one's like the most capable off-roading and stuff, and I know that Honda Zs do tend to get pretty expensive. I got mine for what I feel like was a steal for having less than 100,000 kilometers, and I mean, the engine seems to be in good enough shape. The transmission's in good enough shape. It's just bad mounts that's been the issue with this car. That and this little oil leak. But this car is damn good. And like, if you've seen the YouTube video when I bought it, sorry, I'm trying to like get my face in the frame. When I bought this car, we just hopped on the I-15 and drove it for like 4 or 5 hours from Salt Lake City down to where I live, and it did it just fine. I mean, it hates hills. If you live anywhere where it's like, if you live on like a steep hill, this car hates that shit. It hates going up hills. It hates accelerating up hills. It loves to either downshift unnecessarily or not downshift when you need it to. That's my biggest complaint, is the transmission in this car has a mind of its own. It is very dumb, and it will just randomly shift when it feels necessary. But yeah, I guess that should go in the Z review video, huh? Not the Z valve cover gasket video. I gotta get a cute thumbnail for it too. Maybe of the internals. So okay, the engine cover is back on, so we can put the. Oh, I sat on Bryce's pliers. Sorry. That goes with the tools. So now we're gonna put the big boy engine cover back on. Okay, let's keep all the trash together. And now, for my favorite part, whee, drop the seats. Also, those were super unnecessarily powerful. And here, look, you can hop right on in to the back seat of the Z, which I don't really know if I've ever sat back here, so this is kind of funny. But I mean, here's the legroom. It's pretty good. Once again, I'm 5'10", and look, while you're back here, there's even some Caravan Palace CDs. Ooh, electro swing, am I right? But it actually seems to be idling pretty good right now, which is weird. I don't know why. But yeah, I will take it. I'll probably take it on a little drive over to my house. And yeah, check this out. I wonder if you can, no, I cannot lay down back here. How low can these go? You can kind of get the seatbelts out of the way. Let's see. If you like to sleep curled up, maybe it'll work. But my head is kind of against the wall here. And I wouldn't call this comfortable exactly, but it's better than nothing, I would say. And then so you don't get trapped, look, you can fold this seat up. Also, I don't know why this one doesn't have a basket and this one does. It's kind of funny. But yeah, here we will hop out of the wonderful little car. Let's put the tool bag back. And yeah, we'll move it over. We'll move it over to the house and throw that stuff away in the dumpster. So I've washed my hands, gotten all the oil off. The Z's out my driveway, just idling. Something I noticed though on that little drive is it feels incredibly smooth. Like when I put it in reverse, it wasn't knocking, or not knocking, but it wasn't going duh-duh-duh-duh-duh, you know, the mount wasn't banging. When I shifted from reverse into drive, it didn't go boom like it normally does. This car is such a mystery. Maybe because it's been running and it's a little warmer. But the cold light is still on. It hasn't been idling for more than, 5-6 minutes. So I have no idea. But I'm gonna drive it to school now because it's almost 12:45. It means it's time for me to get to Spanish. I've now changed into something that I find a lot more socially acceptable than that t-shirt I had on. Only issue is I'm still wearing purple pants. So the purple and beige, it's a little clashy, but it's whatever. We're gonna get in the car and we're gonna whip it back to school. Except I just remembered that my backpack and all my stuff is in the beat, so I guess we have to go back over to the beat. Yay, we've made it to the beat. I have the key in one of these pockets, or I don't. I left it on the seat in the Z. Thank you, Yelmar. We're whipping the Z, windows down, because the weather's like actually kind of nice today. And on today's episode of the coolest things that I own, check this out. It is a Japanese copy of the season 1 soundtrack from Sailor Moon from some anime con in Japan, and I found it online, and let's do it because it has some bangers. So we are whipping it. We're going back to school. I don't know what time it is right now, but I think I might be late, but I'm always late, so it doesn't really matter. Let me roll these up. It is noisy. So there's definitely still some rumbles and some rattling and rough shifts like that one right there. So mounts are next. I have them. They're here. I don't know if I showed that in the beginning of the video or not. The mounts are here as well as all the new hardware and stuff. So that is coming to you soon. Hopefully it'll be easy and it doesn't take me forever. But geez, a highway patrolman just cut me off. Could you imagine? Anyway. So that's coming soon, but this will probably be the end of this video. So thanks for coming along and helping me out, because I feel a lot less psychotic when I'm just talking to my camera than when I'm just talking to myself. So at least this gets to become content for somebody. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, subscribe, because there's gonna be more repairs for this car. But once the repairs are done, it's time to modify and lift and turn this into a full-blown K off-roader. And so if you want to be here for that, subscribe. Thank you for watching.